G'day, New Fix It here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install your own water filter. In my opinion, the best water filter on a budget, so you can have nice, clean drinking water. Let's get into it. So, in my opinion, is the best type of water filter you can get on a budget. It's a reverse osmosis water filter with 3 stages. You can get them with other stages in like a 5 filtration system or a 7 filtration system. This is a basic one, quite a cheap entry point into a really good filter, and this takes away all the nasties in the water, so chloride, chlorine, fluoride, heavy metals. So it basically takes out everything from the water and strips it back to purified water. Better than your countertop water filters. This is a subject I'm very passionate about, having good clean drinking water accessible for everybody. I'll go into in detail on my other channel, on the health channel. Today we're just going to show you how to install it. So today we're going to install it on this sink. Currently do have a filter system already, but it's just a basic inline water filter. Literally just tap, single filter and to the tap outlet there. So we're going to keep that because it's got a good high flow, but we're going to add another tap, and then we're going to add the reverse osmosis filter system there. So this one, yeah, that's going to stay there. And this one basically just takes out particles and a little bit of odor from the chlorine in the water. So it's better than nothing, but still it's not really great for drinking water in my opinion. So for this job, we just need a few tools. We're going to need some adjustable spanners and grip, a drill to be able to drill the tap. We're going to need a couple of size drill bits. Probably going to use a step drill bit. And then we've got our water filter. I've got a timer, which helps us to fill up water bottle and not run the filter for longer than necessary. We've got our tap. So this should be available from most hardware stores. And it's a simple single on and off tap, and it comes with a few fittings. This one comes with this, which is super important for our fitting. So the type of filters come with this kind of piping. Pretty standard. They're a push fit, so this little gadget here just pushes over the pipe, and that's how you connect pipes really easy. And then that one connects onto there like that. Super easy to connect. So that's our filter and our tap already sorted. So we just need to work out how to attach this to the system. So you're going to be looking underneath your sink. We're putting this into a commercial kitchen today, but this can really go anywhere, like on your sink. So we're looking for a cold water line, so one that's a tap. So this one's the cold. So we're looking for where that attaches to. That's this pipe or here. So as we can see, the filter that's already here is attached to this one. So they've put in a little T-joiner and then use this little fitting, and then it's got this push fit type hosing and a little on and off tap in case there's a leak or something. So what we can do, you could potentially join there, put a T-piece in there, but a place that I saw that looked a little bit easier was this one here. So this is another split off going to another hose. So I prepared this earlier. So I took this off and measured. I found out what size these threads are. So this is the super important bit to get your right fitting. You need to work out what size fittings you're going to need. So I know that this is a system tap, common on a system basis. And then this is a 15 mil one. They come in 20 mil as well, but this is the smaller one. So I went ahead and worked out what I'm going to need to connect this to this. So currently this is too big, it wouldn't fit on there, it would just fall off. So we needed a little adapter. So I went out and got these bits. So this is a T-piece allowing me to put an extra, and then I needed an adapter that goes to this one. So that one fits on there and then fits on there like that. And then this one allows me to reconnect. So I can connect this one to there and this one to there like that, or in a similar format. Yeah, that'll be really good. And then we can get our water filter on here and then plumb it underneath. And then we'll be drilling a hole somewhere in the sink or maybe here for our new tap to go in. And that'll be it really. So yeah, I think first thing to do would be to turn off your water. So trace your pipes back to where there's an isolated tap of some sort. So here, nice and easy, we can turn that one off nice and tight, and then check that the water is off. Yep, so that's definitely the cold line and the water is definitely off. So now I can take this one off without any issues. Take this one off as well. So this one actually has a tap, so I could have taken that off, but I want to take that off too. So yeah, definitely need to turn the water off. If you don't have a tap under your sink, then you might have to follow it further back and find the actual mains disconnection. All houses have one, yeah, you should be able to find that somewhere. Maybe it's with the meter or yeah, so that's the first thing to do, is turn off your water before you go disconnecting anything. So now we need some tools. I'll grab my spanners, get that out of the way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So anti-clockwise, take that one off. There's going to be a little bit of water that comes out, but I'm not too worried here. Chuck that one in the sink. And then I want to take this one off as well, being careful that it doesn't turn at the wall. That's coming off nice and easily. Looks like this has actually got another extra fitting. Hopefully I got the right size. There's a bit of pressure in here still. Turns out that's not the right one. Water's still on. That must be the hot line, and I did not check properly. So there you go. It doesn't always go smoothly. Let's get that done back up properly. It would help if I do these jobs before to show you, but I'm winging it. I'm doing it as I go. Alright, there we go. We're back on. Not ideal next to an electrical power point, but that is definitely the hot line. So we want so that means I can't use that one, so I'm gonna go and use this one. Hopefully it's the same connection as the one I checked. It looks like it. So let's go ahead and undo that one. Alright, that's just a bit of running off. There's not actually water pressure there, so that's good. Let's test fit our fitting. Perfect, that's a great start. And then that one should go onto there. Yep, sweet, happy days. So now we want to put our fittings on with some sealer. So you can either use what they've used here, which is thread tape. Pretty common, very cheap and accessible. All sort of plumbing shops and hardware shops should have it. Or I actually prefer to use this sort of stuff, engineering adhesive. So it's designed for gas and liquids, and I just find it more reliable than the thread tape. You want to make sure your fitting is dry, and then run a bit of sealer on all of your joints that you're planning to use. Spread it out a little bit. So this one you want to make sure, because we're doing a water filter, that this is actually drinking water or potable water safe. This one is quite important. Check that. There's not much point putting in a water filter system if you're then putting chemicals in your plumbing fittings. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this one on first on its own. Do that up. That worked out nicely. I'm gonna put this one on. I'm gonna put it on the male. Get a bit of sealer all the way around. Pop that one on in there. Now I can go ahead and start putting my poly fittings on. And this one, so these ones actually have rubber seals in them, so I don't need to put thread tape on them or any sealant on them. That one goes on there. This is just a garden hose timer tap. Very, very simple, very cheap piece of equipment. It allows us to either have the tap open on manual, or we can set it on a timer. So if I know how long roughly it takes to fill up my water bottle, then I can put it on for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, then it stops automatically. Really cool. Saves your filters. You don't have to change them as often. So I'm going to position that one like that, so nice and easy to get to. And then pop that one on there. We restore the original filter. That's back together. Super, super handy if you're doing any type of plumbing stuff to have two different size adjustable spanners. This one gets in much better places and a little bit easier to use, but this one very handy for bigger stuff. You don't need to go crazy tight with these plastic fittings with the rubber, especially with a spanner. Sometimes you can even just do them by hand like I did with that one. And then that's it. I should be able to now turn on the water, so that sets it off. There's no water going to come out here, even though I haven't got anything attached to it. I just want to test that I've got no leaks on this fitting before I go any further. So let's turn that one back on. So far so good, nothing pouring out. And I want to keep my eye on that for a couple of minutes just to check that there's no drips whatsoever. Ideally you wait until the sealant has actually dried, but I wanted to test this before we go ahead and do the job any further. So you can do that at home before turning your water on. Give it a little bit of time, but I'm happy with that. So now we can connect our actual filter. So to disconnect these, see this little grey piece? Kind of just push down and hold, and then it just slides out. Super simple. This one is meant to have a rubber seal. This has been fitted before. So this is actually a portable water system. You can fit it to a garden tap or take it with you, put it under your kitchen sink or wherever. So yeah, it has been fitted in the past. So I'm going to need to find a rubber seal for that. Oh, there it is on the other end. I'm going to position that underneath, or at least sit it down there, and then connect this one, and that's going to dictate where we actually end up putting the filter. So It was actually better on there like that. Right, that's the filter installed. So now that's attached. So we need to work out our lines. So these reverse osmosis water filters, they actually have two lines. So one is a clean line and one is a dirty line. So they actually extract toxins and the things that we don't want in the water, and they expel them out of one of the pipes. We need to know which one that is. This one is the dirty one. This one is the clean one. Float. So then we need to attach this one to our tap above the sink. So we're going to have to drill a hole, put our tap in, but then we also need to work out where this one's going to go. So it needs to go into the drain pipe somewhere. And to me, the easiest place to put it is into this one. So that's actually designed for connecting auxiliary hoses and pipes and dishwashers and things like that. So I think we're probably going to put a little hole. So you may drill a hole and then attach your pipe. We're going to drill a hole very similar size as this pipe and then pop it in there and then hope for the best. Let's decide where to put our tap. So we want it to be somewhere, it's not going to be in the way, but it's also going to be accessible for filling up a cup or a big bottle. I think that's going to be pretty good. Not going to be in the way. I think if I put it there, it might be a little bit too much in the way for washing pots and pans and stuff. If I put it, that could work, but I think I prefer that. I need to check underneath, so check whether or not you've got a flat surface. It's a little bit tricky to see, but yeah, that's super important for knowing if we can attach that or not. Let's get our kit, so the little fixtures and fittings that it comes with, see what it's got. That's a little chrome piece to make it pretty. I'm going to take this back off, squeeze that grey bit and pull. Easy as that. That goes over there like that to make it pretty. That is a rubber seal to stop the water going in underneath and underneath your sink, making your floor wet. That looks like another rubber washer. Not sure if we need two, but we have two. Oh no, that's a plastic thing. So I'd say that goes through your sink material. That goes underneath, and then we've got a nut that holds it all together. So we need to make sure we've got enough room for these two underneath, and that's kind of going to position our hole. So there's going to be a sink sort of around here. So I need to go back a little bit, and then again, checking underneath whether or not we have the space. So I have a bit of a space. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but I have a space here. So that's a piece of wood. This is kind of in the way of me drilling, so I need to make sure I'm well clear of that. So that's actually going to make very close to the other tap. I'm going to check with my nut. Yeah, I think I can do it. I'm going to put it in line, roughly in line with this one, and then quite close to this one too. So I'm going to use this as a guide, because that tells me where the tap is. Make sure I can turn that on. Have a bar right there. And it's a little bit tricky here, and that's going to be that angle. Oh no, I can have it. Actually, this can go anywhere it wants because this rotates, so that's actually great. Can have it like that, so I can have it nice and close to the cold tap without this bit getting in the way. So that's really good. So yeah, about there I think I'm gonna go. I don't want to go too far that way and hit that bar underneath. That should be okay. So now we need to find a drill bit. So this is the size of the hole that we need to drill. This is stainless steel, so it's quite hard to drill into. So we need a high-speed steel drill bit, HSS, and it needs to be nice and sharp. Start with a smaller one. Drill your hole nice and small to start with. I'm gonna line that up, put a little drill mark. Like I say, stainless steel is very hard. You need a really sharp drill bit. This one has done many jobs before, so might not be the one for me. And the key with stainless steel is not to go too fast. Just take your time. And my little pot of all sorts of drill bits in here. Bits and bobs. Handy to have. That one's a bit big. Save that one for later. There we go. Nice and sharp. I went smaller, sharper. Much easier. Like I say, just go nice and slow. Be gentle to your drill bit. If you have a wooden sink, much easier. If you have a ceramic sink, stone top, then you're going to need a different type of drill bit suitable for whatever material you've got. And now we're going to go up in the sizes. So we'll go back to this one. And then we want to find a drill bit that's going to be the right size for this. I'm going to have to go to my tool car and find one. I could use that one, but it's not going to be ideal because the thickness of the material that we're going through. I'll use that one. No, still not happening. Oh yeah, that looks nice. All right, I found myself the right size drill bit. This is a 10.5. All right, clean up those bits and let's see if it fits. A little bit tight. Just gonna clean out that hole a little bit more, but we want it nice and tight so it doesn't move around too much. I could fit that, but it will never come out again. I'm also going to use one of these to clean up the hole, just so there's no sharp bits. It's a slightly optional step, but definitely helps. And there we go. Our tap is ready. Awesome. So let's put that one on, push it through, clean up any metal filings, put that through, and then have a look underneath. See if we can see the thread. Yeah, we can see the thread, so that's great. It's gone all the way through the material. So we literally do that one and then that one. Line up your thread, and again, righty-tighty. And there we go, it started going on. Starting to get tight, so I want to position my tap where I want it. See if that's going to be convenient. We could put it like that, but then it's kind of maybe like that on a 45. That's quite nice. I'm going to do it up there, nice and tight. Oh, that was the funny bone. Oh, not so funny. And now pop this one on. So just a push fit. And then I'm able to push that one back on. So to do that, I need to position my filter a little bit higher up. So I just want to be able to attach it to the wall. It does come with some brackets, but I noticed this one has some brackets already, so I might borrow that one. Alright, I managed to connect the filter to the wall using the old brackets, but if you're not so lucky as me, then use the brackets that are supplied. This is a concrete wall, so you'd have to drill a wall plug, or you could cable ties to connect it to somewhere, or if you have a shelf, then you can simply just sit it on the shelf, nice and easy. So now we want to connect pipe. So the outlet pipe flows going this way, and I want to connect that to my tap here. Just push. That's on. So that's the filter connected. So we're plumbed in, we're connected to the tap, so we just need to run this somewhere. If you're running this outside, then it doesn't matter obviously, but in here we need it to go back into the drain system. So I got a drill bit the same size as this. This is a 6.5mm drill bit, and I'm gonna put a little hole down here so that I can just pop my pipe in there, and then that should just drain off nicely. Take it nice and easy. There's only a piece of plastic, so it won't take much to go through that. Make sure you don't go through the other side. Clean out the debris. Just run that back through so we get a nice clean hole. See if it fits. I think I'm going to run it this side, and that fits in there nicely. I can cable tie it a couple of times. Go one here, maybe cable tie all these together so they're nice and neat. No need to go crazy tight. Get one more. I'm going to cable tie that there so it doesn't accidentally pull out, and then I'm going to test this and see if any water comes out of here when we're using the main sink. If it does, then I might have to just fill this up with silicone, but it might be okay. So now we can turn the water back on. There we go. Run that for a minute, let any air out the system, and now that one's back on. Turn our timer on, and then turn that one on. Give it a moment. We should get a little bit of a water filter coming out. We'll let that build up pressure. These are a very slow type of filter, so they take a little while. Right, there we go. We're filtering. So it is just a trickle. This is a very slow type of filter because reverse osmosis. But yeah, this coming out of here is pure drinking water. Wonderful. Now we want to go back, check for any leak, check there's no drip coming from anywhere around your filter, and we're going to clean up and then fill up our water bottle. So I'm going to check this fitting for any leak. I'm going to put both taps on full power, hot and cold. Maybe that one as well. It's going to be the maximum flow we ever see, and check if there's any water coming out of there. And it seems okay, so I don't think we need to seal that with silicone. Alright, we've cleaned up, checked for leaks, all looking good. I've let the filter run for a little while before I started filling up my cup. Especially important if you've got a brand new filter or you change the filter cartridges, let it flush for a little bit, clean out any particles in there, and then there we go. Beautiful, pure filtered water. I just did a quick search for comparison, and I found a new one that I hadn't seen before at the time when I bought my water filter. And yeah, this one is waterfiltercentury.com.au. It looks like a very, very similar system, but at a price. So, and then it's also got a few more options. So it's same as our one, the one that we installed, the portable benchtop reverse osmosis. Got 3 filters, got the adapters, got the pipe. You can actually choose which membrane you want. So So depending on how many liters per hour, how much water it's going to filter. The more liters per hour, the more it goes up in cost. But yeah, it could be worthwhile if you want one that does, say, like this one, 33 liters per hour. And then you also get to choose different post filter. So we had a coconut carbon one with the alkalizing, so the pH balancing one, that one. But you can also get ones with extra function. So you can get one with silver in it, which says it's antibacterial, and then you can get one that puts minerals back in as well. Because when we filter out the water with a reverse osmosis, it takes everything. It takes minerals as well. So a lot of people like to remineralize those. I actually just use some Celtic salt and some other minerals that I actually put in myself. But yeah, you can get much easier options by choosing the mineral filter. And then it comes with both adapters. So I guess that's both adapters in this picture for $189.50. So there we go. There we have it. That's how you DIY your own filter. Cheers.